What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here, and today we're going to look at the current state of crypto mining on most hardware here, like CPUs, GPUs, and ASIC miners. And we're going to see what is making the most, what isn't making anything, and is it worth mining today as of January 2026. Are you looking for a mining pool with all the latest tech and features and mine most of the coins all in one place? Via BTC has you covered. From being the top pool in BTC, Bitcoin Cash, ZEC, LTC, ETC, ZEC Dash, CKB, HNS, and Kaspa, Via BTC has you covered. And with next level features like asset swaps, creations, auto withdrawals, converting, and straight deposits to CoinX, you have everything you need in one local spot. Via BTC also has real-time profit rewards based on hardware for each individual coin that you may possibly be mining, as well as blogs and news to stay up to date on all the latest crypto stuff going on around the world, as well as loans, which is crazy to think that you can actually take out loans now with crypto. So they got everything all in one local spot where you can mine your coins for yourself. If you're looking for a new mining pool today and you want everything all in one place, check out Via BTC today. Link down in the description. Alrighty, so as we can see here, things are looking pretty much in the red. So not looking good for the most part. Let's just see what our largest gainers are. So we do have XDAG, some Dero, some Alephium, Nexa, Radiant, but not very many coins are green, at least any of the ones I'm tracking. The rest are all pretty much, not looking good. And when it comes to biggest losers, we got Dynex, we got Monero is dropping down quite a bit at 536. We got Tari is down quite a bit here. So things are looking pretty rough on this front here. So let's take a look. We're going to start with some GPU action, as that seems to be the most common way people are mining ever since Ethereum. There's just been so many GPUs out there, and it's still the most popular way to mine crypto. I think things are changing and people are moving over to CPUs and ASICs. GPUs seem to be dying out, but we're going to take a look here. So we're coming in 12-cent power, and now we can just see the 4070 Ti is on grid here, which is weird. There aren't very many ASICs, but this is an ASIC coin, so you can get ASICs for this. But from time and time again, we are seeing GPUs come up as grid being the most profitable. In this case, a 4070 Ti is making 25-cent profit on grid. Pretty crazy. No surprise here, the 170HX is on Zealous for 23-cent profit. The 4090 is rocking. Look at Grin right across the board on most coins here. So we're seeing some Quai pop up here, but for the most part, it's looking like Grin is what you want to be mining. Now, as you get in cheaper power costs, we can see, like, say, people with 5-cent power, very limited amount of people here, though. We can see that, wow, it is still Grin. I thought Quai would start popping up here in even cheaper power because it's so power intensive, but it must be dropping in price quite a bit as well. So that is pretty crazy here. So it looks like for GPUs, Grin is most likely what you're probably going to be mining. All right, so now we're going to jump into the ASIC mining world. And as we can see here, it looks like Bitmain's X9 is making $27.38. The sad thing, this thing isn't releasing for another 6 months, and we're starting to see Monero already crash and burn. So again, if you missed any of me talking about the X9, pre-orders are in for that. By the time they actually release, they could be 50% cheaper. So depending on how many are available, it could be very small stock, just like the X5. So you may not be able to get any, but if there are some available, it's going to be a lot cheaper because we're probably going to see a lot less of a price and a lot less profitability. But again, I wish there was a tab here on mining now that you could click for released miners only, or something like that, or turn on released or turn on upcoming, or consumer ones, because a lot of us consumers, we're not going to be getting these three-phase S23 Hydra 3U 11,000 watt miners. So some of these miners we don't need to get. Like we see here's another one that's not yet released, like the X44P. But it'd be nice to have tabs to switch between release miners, consumer type of miners, and then all miners or future miners and so on. So mining now, if you're watching this, maybe some things to take into consideration. But for the most part, we can see that even ASICs, for the price that they cost, they're not really worth much in value. Now, what's interesting is the AE3 is still decent in profitability at $9.53 a day at 12-cent power, but Leo hasn't really been doing anything. So it's interesting to see this kind of in the top list and still around that $10 a day. But that's also because people are giving up on a Leo miners and a lot of miners are not buying them. So that network hash rate is actually staying low, which keeping some profit up there. But for the most part, we're not seeing too much in profitability. Let's just look down. Some of the most popular miners like the L9s, they're under $5 a day right now. That is pretty crazy to think about. Remember, these things were over $200 a day at one point. Now they're down to under $5 at 12-cent power. So things are looking pretty rough on the home miner front, especially for ASICs. We're not seeing much profitability there at all, especially when it comes down to the price of a lot of these miners. We really need mining prices on these ASICs hardware to drop in price. But if you are looking for any, guys, remember there's always someone looking for a new ASIC. Smash them links down in the description. We also have, if you're a Kaspa miner or a big fan, which some people still are, there's a huge discount on Bitmain's K7 over at ASL Miner. So be sure to check that out as well if you're into Kaspa. Most people don't care about Kaspa, don't want anything to do with a Kaspa miner, but some people still do. All right, guys. So now coming into the CPU side, we can see Monero on, let me just double check here, 22 kilohash, yeah, 142 watts. Yeah, so this is a 7950X, and we can see Monero, this used to be at a little over $1 and about 50 cents after power. Now we can see we're only at 76 cents and 35-cent profit, which is still better than all the GPUs out there, but it's coming down quite a bit with the crash of Monero incoming. We see QRL is actually making a bit more at 39 cents. We have Epic Cash coming in at 46 cents. Remember, with Epic Cash, you can mine this and another coin at the same time. So you'd be getting, say, 15, 16 cents off Monero while getting this. So you could tack those two on together because you mine the other chain on anything SRB miner supports at 52% of the time. So you would take about half the rewards of mining it directly and tack that onto here from another coin. So that's also an option. QRLs make a little more, so you're probably better off mining that. XDAG is making even more than that, but it says it hasn't updated for more than an hour. But XDAG has been pretty consistently over the past couple of weeks the top coin to mine. So it'll be interesting to see what this is once it updates. And again, now we have Atika seems to be leading the charge until this at least updates at $1.15 before power cost or 74-cent profit. So we're seeing some decent profits still on CPUs, nothing major like Ethereum or anything, but we're seeing, some profits here, and Monero is not necessarily the top coin anymore. So that pretty much sums it up in a nutshell. Quai has been doing good for a lot of hardware. Actually, that's one thing we should check on is what's the ASIC profitability on script for Quai. So we do got to touch up on that a little bit here before we do wrap this up, because that is actually more profitable usually than mining the coin. So here we can see the L9. Actually, it's about the same right now because Quai seems to be dipping down. So coming back into here, it's been a great month for Monero miners. As we know, Monero supposedly had a big pump from a BTC Litecoin hack through a bridge. I don't know why coins keep wanting to bridge coins through other things. That seems to be where all the hacks always are. Just stick to the main chains and keep your funds safe. But anyway, we can see that Monero had a massive pump to a new all-time high, almost doubled its previous all-time high, but we can see it's greatly coming down in price now. Now it's still doing pretty darn amazing at $539, but it is down quite a bit from its previous high here of around 788. I think it actually went up to all-time high of 798, so it almost tipped that $800 mark. But that's pretty insane indeed. It's awesome to see Monero doing things like this. But in a nutshell, guys, this pretty much does wrap up the current state of crypto mining for January of 2026. Now, how do you feel the rest of this year is going to play out? Personally, I really think we're moving into a major bear market, and everything's just going to start cratering and crashing until Bitcoin hits its bottom sometime around October and the end of the year here. So be ready for that. At the same time, some people claim there's a super cycle coming. They claim that all the time, but they claim that things are about to explode. So it could go that way as well. I have no idea, but I really feel this is moving towards the bear market side of things based on historic trends of the crypto markets. But let me know what you guys think about this. I will see you guys on the next one. Rabid out.